Welcome to another episode of Shuffle Up, where we are taking old moves that I've taught before and mastering them, talking about common mistakes, and figuring out why they don't look the way you want them to. Also guys, I almost forgot to tell you, if you want to learn how to shuffle and travel the world with your girl, I am so excited to tell you that I am hosting a trip with Trova Trip, and we are going to Bali. Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited. Basically, the trip is going to be filled with a bunch of activities in Bali, like beach exploration, we're going to do surf lessons, and of course, we're gonna be doing shuffle workshops. So you get to learn how to shuffle, go to a really cool place, sit on the beach, and you get to hang out with me, and I get to hang out with you. I'll put a link down to the trip below in case you want to sign up, but the trip isn't until 2022. It is going to be September 3rd through the 10th. All the details will be in the link down below. I really hope you guys sign up and you come because it's going to be so much fun. So today's move is going to be the Charleston. The Charleston is kind of, to me, the bread and butter of cutting shapes, but let's go over it briefly and then we will really dive into the nitty gritty. So the Charleston looks like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna start this move in what's called fifth position. So this is fifth position. If you're unfamiliar, it's a ballet position. You're gonna start in first position, which is your heels are touching and your knees and your toes are pointed outwards, kind of in a right side up V. Now from here, we're gonna start taking our right leg and move our heel to our toe, so our feet are kind of stacked like this. You can do this on either side. You can also be in fifth position on the left side, but I'm gonna start with my right leg in front. So starting here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our knees in and pick up our back leg at the same time. So what it looks like is this. So if I were to set my foot down, what it would look like is this. See how my knees and my toes are pointed in, but my leg is just up. Okay, so let's return to our starting position. Fifth position, right leg in front. Turn your knees in, kind of by pivoting on your ball of your foot, on your front foot, so your right foot. You're gonna pivot in, boom, and pick up your back leg. Okay, then from here, we're gonna drop into fifth position on the other side. So now our left leg is gonna be in fifth position. Now we're gonna repeat, pick up our right leg, turn our knees and toes in, and then drop that leg in front. So from the back, what that looks like is this. Fifth position, right leg in front, turn your knees in, pick up your left leg, then drop your left leg in front into fifth position. Repeat on the other side, right leg up, right leg down. A lot of our cutting shapes moves are basically alternating between this position and this position, right? Our knees in, our knees out. So right, the diamond is like this. Charleston is the same, but we're just walking with it. And 1, and 2, and 3. So if you're struggling with the Charleston, really make sure you have the diamond down first, just kind of with this rotation, and then start adding in that walking. All right, so that's the Charleston. Let's practice it together and then we'll go over some tips. Do it for 4 counts forward. So we'll go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can also do this move backwards, and what we're gonna do is instead of picking up our back leg, we're just gonna pick up our front leg and then drop it back. Okay, so what that looks like in the back is we're here, pick up your front leg as you rotate in, and then drop it back. Again, pick up your front leg as you rotate in and drop it back. Now let's go into how to perfecting this move. It seems simple enough, right? But there's a lot of little nuances in it that can really elevate it or make it look a certain way. So the Charleston is a swing dance move. And if you picture it, it kind of looks something like this, right? So you notice when I'm doing it like that, I'm not really picking up my feet off the floor, right? They're just kind of pivoting in place like this. However, when I'm shuffling, I actually like to add in a little bit of a hop to make it more shuffle-like, right? Because with shuffling, we're always kind of popping on every half count, right? We're like, and 1, and 2, and 3. There's always those little hops. So I like to do the same with my Charleston. Instead of just going pivot, pivot, I like to hop and go hop and pivot, hop and pivot. So let me show you the difference. The first way being the more swing dancey type. And And the second way being the more shuffly type. You can kind of hear there's a little bit more of a hop in my step when I'm doing this move. So going over that, again, starting in 5th position, I'm gonna not just pivot my knees and toes out, I'm actually going to hop into that position. So I actually pick my foot up off the ground to get from here to here. And then I'll hop again, hop, 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 hop. So really subtle difference, but one, I think it makes it look different, and also I think it makes it easier to kind of throw in with shuffling. The next tip I have for you is to really work on your internal and external rotation. A lot of people that I see struggling with this move can't really rotate their hips that much. They kind of struggle keeping their feet rotated in or out, and they kind of end up more like a parallel position. So really work on that internal and external rotation. Work on your hip mobility to kind of increase your range of motion with this move, because it's really gonna exaggerate it and make it look the way that you want. So one, add in a little bit of a hop to make it more shuffle-like. Two, work on your internal and external rotation to exaggerate the move. And three is to stay on the balls of your feet. Now, there's a couple reasons I like to do this. One is because if you're completely flat-footed, you kind of look a little bit stiff, right? So if I keep my feet flat on the ground, it looks really stiff, right? Also, if I stay on the balls of my feet, it kind of allows me to keep a bend in my legs, which again, keeps it from looking so stiff. And it also helps me stay light on my feet and be quicker with this move. So rather than being flat, try staying on the balls of your feet, heels slightly elevated, and bending your knees. So then it's like, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And the reason it's important to keep a bend in your knee is because that's what cutting shapes is all about. It's about creating shapes with your legs. Like, notice there's a shape in between my legs when I keep my legs bent, versus when I extend, there's nothing there, right? There's nothing to see. We wanna make it look like we're crossing our legs in and out, and it's harder to tell if we're fully extended. Now, obviously you don't need to be like here, but keep a bend in those knees, exaggerate it as much or as little as you like. So the last tip, in order to exaggerate the Charleston when we are in this position right here, so our leg is up, try bending this leg more. So I talked about that internal and external rotation. Notice how when my leg is up and I'm internally rotated, just by bending my knee, it exaggerates that internal rotation even more. See, when I'm down here, you can't hardly tell, but just bending my leg, you can really notice it. Now, when you're forward and you aren't internally rotated, it doesn't make a difference, but when you are internally rotated, you can kind of exaggerate that rotation just by bending this leg a little bit more, and that will really make it look like you're swinging your leg down even more and just give this move a much bigger, exaggerated effect. Again, this all depends on what you're kind of looking for in your own style. You can keep your Charleston soft, or you can really make it big and exaggerated. So going over the tips one more time, add a little bit of a bounce in your step to make it more shuffly and less jazzy. So, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 2, stay on the balls of your feet in order to keep a slight bend in your legs and make it from looking so stiff. So, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 3, really work on that internal and external rotation to exaggerate this move. And number 4, bend your leg when it's in the up position as well in order to exaggerate that internal rotation. Bum, 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 bum. Cool. Now I'm gonna do it from the back so you can follow along, and we're gonna do the same tempo again, starting with whichever leg. I'm gonna start in 5th position, and we're gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. Okay, now to music. Okay guys, that's the Charleston. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Shuffle Up. And if you want more tutorials and a full directory of shuffling and shaping moves, don't forget to sign up for the Shuffle Vault. It's got a beginner's playlist. It's got a bunch of tutorials to help you learn how to be a shuffle pro. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.